everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I came in today to not only ask the question as to whether Miss Olivia should debate VS and TSCC, but also to answer that question. But before we get to that, let us first discuss this German lady. Y'all, last night and today, I watched quite a few videos of my fellow content creators that were made about this whole situation with this German lady. And before I answer about Miss Olivia, I wanted to kind of talk about this German lady and what some of us are missing when we listen to this rhetoric that she's spewing here on YouTube. First of all, guys, you have to understand the people that she comes from, the German people. Do you guys know the name Hitler? Hitler rose to power, exterminated over 6 million Jews. But before he did that, he had to get the German people riled up enough to believe in and accept what he was about to do to the Jews. And he started out much the same way that Donald Trump is starting out here in America with us trying to turn Americans against immigrants, and more specifically, Mexican immigrants. What he did, and when I say he, I speak of Hitler, is he told the German people that they were of a superior race, the superior Aryan race. He took their children and he put them into schools that taught them that they were the superior race and everyone else was beneath them. Now, if you think that America is racist against black people and other people of color, we have nothing on Hitler. Hitler not only thought that, but the very race of people that he set his sights on, as I stated before, he murdered over 6 million human beings. Let that sit in for a moment. Over 6 million of God's creation, this man murdered. Now, this German lady, who I, for some reason, don't even believe that she's really German, but let's go with that narrative. She hails from a country of people who believe that they are the superior race. So to find her over in our sector of YouTube, this sector of YouTube where we are showing our asses, turning against each other, acting a fool, we let a little 35 or 36-year-old tyrant rule over the content in this sector of YouTube. And that little tyrant is VS. VS allowed her, this German lady, to come on her platform and basically clown and ridicule the black culture, because that's exactly what was going on. This German lady set up and said that she gets her ideals of who we are by watching television and by coming here on YouTube and sitting back and watching us clown and berate each other. So from that, she feels that she has a handle on who we are as black people. And then a lot of us sat over there and supported that buffoonery that she was sprouting. But many of us who are secure in who we are and knows exactly the type of people that she comes from, we weren't buying into that bullshit. We saw straight through it. She is making a mockery of who we are as people. You better believe it. She doesn't really want to embrace us and get to know us. She thinks of us as entertainment. This is out of her own mouth. We're entertainment to her. Even to when they were asking her, you know, did she, have friends that were black, and she talked about neighbors that were African and this and all of that. But let me just say this. Though there are many people around the world who share the same skin tone, skin color that we do, they do not have the same experience as we do. Let me just tell y'all a little experience that I had when I was a travel agent. I was a travel agent for about 15 years, y'all. So I got a chance to go to some very beautiful places in this world. And one of the places that I went to was Switzerland. And one day I was in Switzerland with a group of other travel agents, and we had went to dinner. And after dinner, we were in a little plaza that was selling souvenirs and all of that. And I was walking around. Now, I didn't venture too far away from the people that I came with because, I didn't want to be lost over there. But I had moved a little distance away and I was walking by myself. Now, up until this point, I had seen other black people there. But those black people that I saw, they looked like they were African. And they would pass me and they would smile and they would just keep walking. But at this particular moment when I was in Switzerland, I was walking along and I looked up ahead and there was a black girl that pretty much looked like any black girl here in America. She was dressed like us. She had her hair like us. She just looked like us. When we got along, close to each other, we stopped and we looked at each other. And she said in Italian, did I speak Italian? And I was saying at the same time in English, did she speak English? And we giggled because we realized that neither one of us could speak the other language. But we stood there and we looked at each other. And she grabbed my hand and she said, are you American? And I said, yes. And even though we couldn't speak to each other, there was a kinship because it was skin deep, the color of our skin. But we knew, standing there looking at each other, that the experiences that molded me were not the experiences that molded her, but we were still black. So when German lady speaks about those Africans that she knows over there in Germany, even though, again, I don't even believe she's in Germany. But let's go with the narrative. They are not the same black people that we are. We are black people who have grown up here in a racist, segregated country that is steeped in a history of slavery. Now, that little Italian black girl that I met, I don't know where she came from. I don't know if she was born in Switzerland or, where did she begin? What molded her? But I know that my ancestors were brought to the shores of America in the belly of slave ships. And they served or slaved for over 400 years here in America. And that I am the descendant of one of those slaves. And I bear the repercussions of their lives. So when I hear German lady putting down, because that's what she's doing, you have to be smart enough to read between the lines. She's not laughing with us, y'all. She's laughing at us. She thinks that we are buffoons. She buys into the stereotypes of who they are. Let me give you another example of what I mean by that. If we are to go on the propaganda that America puts out about, let's just say, Africa, if we go on only what we see on television about Africa, We see the Africans as running through the jungle with loincloths on, swinging from trees to trees, chasing zebras, riding lions, and all of this, because that is the narrative that is put out by the media, that they're over there with flies blowing, all of them, that there's no civilized part of Africa, that everything bad that comes, to America from Africa is just totally wiped, messed up, that there's nothing good about Africa. That's the narrative that we are led to believe. And that's why I believe that a lot of black people don't want to even embrace that their ancestors came from the mother country. We here in America, the African Americans here, the black people here, we almost are more open to believing that our history started here on some plantation rather than from Africa, because we've been sold this bill of goods that everything that came out of Africa is bad. When I sat there and listened, just really listen, as a thinking, breathing black American woman, I was so angry at the people that were in that chat, because not only did they go along with the stupid shit that German lady was saying, they basically fed her a narrative about us that is a stereotype of us. Y'all, there's something that my daughter says, and ever since she said this, I've started using this little sentence that she uses. My daughter says that most of the places that she's worked or that she's gone to school, she's been the only quote unquote chocolate chip in the bag. And what she means by that, y'all get it, is that where she is, she's the only black person. And from that, she's always told me that she has to remember to take her pride and her dignity with her, because when you are in situations where you are the only one, they will try you. And if you don't have a strong sense of self and pride in yourself, you will become a fucking Uncle Tom, a Stephen Fletcher, because you lose who you are trying to assimilate and be who they want you to be. And I'm glad my daughter years ago was able to understand that yes, I may be the only black person here, the only representation of my race in this room, in this lecture hall, at this job, but they are not going to take from me my pride and the dignity of who I am. And when I sat and listened to what VS allowed with her crazy ass on her platform, that's exactly what was happening. When the German lady was speaking negatively about other YouTubers, what those people in that chat didn't realize is that same negativity was directed at them. Because when you speak about one of us in such a negative way, you're speaking about all of us in that way. You believe that all of us are like that, think like that, behave like that, and we don't. I was even in Miss Olivia's chat this morning when she was saying that she was not going to debate them. And for that, I applaud her, because I do not believe that she should come down to their level and get in the weeds with them and debate that silly fucking nonsense. But I was in her chat, and there was another person that posted something saying that, black people don't have pride in themselves and all of this. And me and her were going back and forth. And what I told her is don't paint that negativity over the entire black race, because yes, there are some of us who don't have pride in who we are, but there are a vast majority of us who were taught in our homes to have pride in ourselves, to believe in ourselves, and to not buy into these stereotypical narratives that are put out there about us. Y'all, I was even at work this week, and there's a young lady at work that had crochet braids in her hair, and she looked very beautiful. And I was telling her to get some of those little clips and shells and stuff and put it in her braids. She's a beautiful black girl, and it just would make her look like a queen. There was this white lady, and I believe, y'all, she's German. She's German, and recently here, only been in the United States about 6 years. And she asked this black girl, did a machine put those braids in her hair? So I was standing there and I was like, a machine? It's hair, you know? She's a human being. I asked her, have you ever gone to the beauty salon and they had a machine color your hair or style your hair or perm your hair? We're human beings just like you are. So no, a machine did not do that. Another human being braided this young girl's hair. Now, y'all, getting back to where German lady comes from. I don't know if you guys know your history about Jesse Owens. He went to the 1936 Olympics over in Berlin. And when I say Jesse tore those Olympics up, he just blew them away. In every event that he participated in, he outjumped, outran, outdid them in every way imaginable. Hitler, as this man won event after event, after Jesse Owens won event after event, Hitler was so angry because what was being displayed to the world was that there was this black man from America who came over there to Germany and outshone their top athletes. That this black man with his superior physique took everything and ran with it. Now, German lady does give us, kudos for being superior in our bodies, and that we're very good in entertainment and playing basketball and sports, I guess. But that plays also into the stereotype. Basically, we're brawny, but we're not brainy. Yeah, we can outrun, outjump, outsing other people, but when it comes to brains, we really don't have that. Now, when I was in Miss Olivia's chat, there were a lot of people that know their African American history. They know the contributions that we brought to this country, and they started talking about all of the inventions that were created by black people. And the reason why we were such great innovators and inventors is because we were doing the work of the United States. So if we were tasked to do something, we would stand there and say, there has to be a better way to get this done. And through that thought, we came up with inventions to make things easier for us to do the work. And that's why we have all of these great inventions by black people. Y'all, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest. I did not know that fact until my first semester of college at Kent State University. I had a history class. It was a black history class. And the first thing that our professor did was passed out this little booklet that he had created. And he was a white man. I'll give him that. And it was all of the inventions that he could find that were done by black inventors. Do you know, y'all, that when I took that back to my dorm room and I was going through it, sadly, I had never learned that in school. Never been taught that. It was in no history book that I ever read during my 12 years of going to school. It was never written. There were a couple pages about slavery in our history books, but anything that celebrated our genius was not taught. Not when I was in school. I didn't learn it until I actually went to college. And it made me hunger for more. So what I did is I started becoming a student of our history. I started asking my grandparents to tell me stuff about us and who we are, who we were as a people. And when I had my children, I did the same thing to them. They came up in a home where I taught them pride in themselves, not only pride in themselves, but pride in the people that they were descendant from. Because let me tell you the difference between what I heard over in VS's chat in her live and what I was taught in my home. My grandfather used to tell me that never believe that our history started here in slavery. He said to believe that is to believe as a fool. He told me that if there was anything that I wanted to know about my people, that it was going to be up to me to do the research because no one was going to tell me. But he wanted to give me some nuggets to get me started in discovering how great our people were. My grandfather told me, he said, Rachel, the strength of our people is phenomenal. He said that for a people to have been enslaved for over 400 years, to claw and fight their way out of that bondage, and to emerge into the people that we are today, takes a lot of strength, takes a lot of pride in who they are, and takes a lot of resolve. He said we could have sat there and allowed ourselves to continue to be enslaved, but we would rather die fighting than to allow it to go on one more day. And when he told me that, I walked away and I thought about it. And it made me want to know more about those people that I am descendant from and what it means to be African. Y'all, I am a proud Black American, but I am also proud to be descendant from Africa. I do not shun my African heritage. I do not act like my ancestors did not come from Africa. When I sat there and listened to VS allow all of that mess that was going on in her live and in her chat, I was totally disgusted, y'all. Totally disgusted. Because it makes me worry that a lot of us didn't teach our kids, that we didn't instill in them that sense of pride, and that's why they can sit and listen to that mess and not get angry, read that mess and not get angry. Because if you were over in that live and you did not come away with smoke coming out your ears after listening to what that German lady was saying and understanding, because see, it was one thing just to listen to it, but you guys have to read below between the lines of what she was saying. Dig deep. She comes from a nation of people who believe that they are a superior Aryan race. They believed in that so strongly that they exterminated 6 million human beings. That is the people that she's descended from. So when she comes over to our quote unquote sector of YouTube, she's bringing all of that history with her. She thinks that we are buffoons, that we are idiots, that we are subhuman. Believe it. You could hear it in every sarcasm-laced comment that she made. And the people in our sector who are awoke, who are mature, and age brings maturity, but also I watched another young YouTuber here who had witnessed all of the stuff that went on in VS's chat. And I'm sorry that I can't remember her name right this second. But I watched a couple of her videos. And she was right on the money with, and while I'm talking, I'm trying to find that video that I saw of hers. She was right on the money with how she read through everything that that German lady was saying, and could see clearly that she was making fun of us. Her name is Kay Summers. Yes, Kay Summers. I watched a couple of that young lady's videos, and she got it. She got it. So not only age brings wisdom, but that young lady was wise enough to see between and behind all the bullshit. She got it. German lady is here to eat up our culture, to make fun of it, to jump on the bandwagon and pit us against each other. And some of us are falling for that bullshit. It's so sad, y'all. It's so sad that we don't have enough pride in ourselves to not let someone wiggle their way in and turn us against each other. Now, VS, we know she's doing this for a reason. You know, for her, it's all clicks and views. And let's face it, the bitch is deranged. You know, that's a psychotic, bipolar whore over there. She really is. There's nothing more that I can say that will clearly demonstrate how twisted and how she is manipulating these YouTube streets, how some of us are allowing it. A lot of people keep asking, how is it that she is able to manipulate and silence those older people who she has on her panel, who are in her chat, who are part of TSCC. And y'all, I don't honestly have an answer for that. The only thing that I could think is that those people are weak and that they don't have a strong sense of self. Y'all, I have problems and issues and life challenges just like the rest of you. But even with that, I have a strong sense of who I am as a woman. And I would not let some 30-something, because I'm in my 50s, I have a 30-something year old child. My son is 32 years old. There is no way that I would be letting him lead me around by my nose and have me saying and doing things that someone my age should not be allowing to happen to them. I think that the majority of those people over there, they're just as twisted as VS is. And make no mistake, that is one twisted bitch. I have watched her out in these YouTube streets, and y'all, she has been allowed to get away with so much shit. But she fucks with the right people. Let me tell you something that's going to happen to her. She's going to happen upon the wrong person and go in and try to do her normal antics, and she's gonna run into a brick wall. Eventually, every bad deed has its day, and her day is coming, because she's gonna run into the wrong person and they are gonna give her a taste of her own medicine. What I'm starting to see though is a lot of content creators are fed up. And they are finally speaking out, and speaking out very strongly. And they're starting to stick together. I love the series of videos that Phi Babe has done with ex-TSCC members. and they were eye-opening. They taught me a lot about the psyche of VS. VS is, her brain is mangled. Whatever happened to her when she was a kid in that home of not feeling protected, not being raised correctly, and the chaos and confusion that was in her home while she was growing up. Y'all, the only way I can put it is it fucked that bitch up mentally. She is a twisted young woman. And y'all, I can only look at the way that I see my son operate. He's about VS's age. And he went through a time in his life where, he's finding his way. He, questioned things and, did things a little out of character, but never to the extent that I see this girl move. And the only thing that I can come up with is when you have been raised in a home that was peaceful, with parents that cared about you and protected you and taught you a sense of who you are and gave you that supportive, loving home, you come out better. You have a foundation to stand on out here. Your mind is strong and solid. Because this girl didn't come from that, that's why she sows seeds of discord out in these YouTube streets. And that's exactly what she was doing when she allowed that German lady to come on and is now challenging Miss Olivia to a debate. Miss Olivia is smarter than that. Miss Olivia is of my generation. And what VS doesn't know is that Miss Olivia is laughing at her. Miss Olivia believes that VS is a joke. Most people of my age who sit and watch this, the ones who have sense now, let's clear that up. We're sitting back laughing or shaking our heads in pity at the people that are over in her group that are our age who are allowing her to manipulate them. We're shaking our heads and we're laughing because we have kids that age. And we know that there's no way in hell that we would allow our children to treat us like that, let alone someone else's twisted child. Y'all, we need to have more pride in ourselves. We need to realize that the German lady is not our friend. She is there laughing at us, mocking us, making fun of us, taking delight in us. We're entertaining to her like trained animals, That's what she's getting from this sector. Make no mistake. Y'all, thank you for watching this video. I'd like to hear your comments on the whole situation. Do you believe that Miss Olivia should come down off her chariot and debate with that twisted sister over there in TSCC? Or do you believe that Miss Olivia should rise above the occasion and don't allow them to drag her down to the depths of where they are? Thank you for watching the video, y'all. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.